My name is Matt Pycroft. I'm the founder and creative director of Cold House, a film production company that specialises in remote location expedition filmmaking. I'm also a podcast host of the Adventure podcast, and I'm the vice president for membership at the RGS. So I'm recently appointed to the council, having successfully been elected this year, and I'm just getting my feet under the table and understanding how it all works. But principally, it's a new role, and what it involves at its core really is growing the membership, but also looking at how the RGS can better support its members and fellows and how they can better support us. I think at the core of the RGS's ambition to recruit members, I think the main issue at the moment is actually visibility. It's awareness. Who are we? What do we offer? What can you offer us? And I actually think, this is my own experience actually, if people were to know what the RGS is, what it stands for, the work that it does, and understand more about it, they would want to naturally become members and fellows. That's absolutely what happened to me. I was not a fellow for long before I stood for council and then was elected to council. I didn't really know what this place was about. I didn't understand it, and that was the error. And I think it falls to the trustees, it falls to the staff team, and it falls to other fellows actually to help to increase the awareness of the RGS, to help others outside of our own echo chambers to understand who we are and what we do. I think what the RGS could be is a home for those of us who are working in geography, science, fieldwork, expeditions, exploration, humanitarian issues, conservation, environmentalism. But at the moment, those things feel quite fragmented and segmented, and it doesn't feel like we are that home. I don't think it would be too difficult for us to become that home. I think that comes down to creating a space for these people to group and gather together, for us to be thought leaders, to combine these people into this one united front as we push forward into issues that we're going to face over the next 50 to 100 years. And based on my own experience, I think lots of the problems we face, whether it's climate change, whether it's conflict, etc., environmental issues, biodiversity issues, it's difficult not to feel hopeless when we look at the news, when we read about these things, but actually there is amazing hope and purpose to be found in joining forces with a group of other people who are looking to change things incrementally. We don't have to be the one person that solves all of the world's problems. We get to be this tiny cog in this amazing machine. And I have found unbelievable purpose. My origin and my background is adventure, exploration, filmmaking. But realising the fragility of the natural world, wanting to do something to protect it, to maybe repent a little bit for all of the global travel I've done, actually starting to work in the areas of environmentalism, humanitarian issues and problems, I feel part of a solution rather than part of a problem. And the purpose that brings me is unbelievable. Explore serves many purposes, but one of the most amazing things about Explore is it's kind of taking a huge hammer to the glass ceiling, that people see fieldwork, science, exploration, adventure as this preserve of people, frankly, who look a lot like me. You're white, middle-class, bearded, brave explorer, and I say that with huge inverted commas. That is not the case. There is no glass ceiling, there's just a perception of a glass ceiling. And when I see young people particularly walking around these halls at Explore, I see them making contacts, making friends, learning that there's something that they can do. I first walked through this building when I was 18 years old as a photographer's assistant, and I didn't step back into it for 10 years. That was an error. I wish I'd been coming to Explore when I was 18, 19, 20. I think that would have had a profound impact on my career, my understanding of my place within this world and how I could better serve it. About 6 years ago, I was driving home from Norway from an expedition, and I pulled into a Danish service station to try and find a podcast to listen to, and I couldn't find something that told stories of adventure and exploration and looked at people who were living wild, adventurous lives that wasn't just about trail shoe reviews. So I decided on the spot I was going to start one. 6 months later I did, and with a few gaps I've released one a week since, and that's under the banner of the Adventure Podcast. But what I've realised with the Adventure Podcast is that I'm kind of pigeonholed. There are certain areas I can't travel down, there are certain corridors I can't visit, because I need to stay true and close to this banner of adventure, because that's what the audience want. So speaking with Shane Windsor at the RGS, we've actually developed this idea for what is now called Explore, how to plan an expedition. And basically, the podcast in overview does exactly what it says on the tin. It is an introduction to expedition planning and how to get into field work. It's not a be-all and end-all. It's approximately 10 hours. We cannot teach you everything you need to know about expedition planning in 10 hours, but the idea is that this is an access point. You'll use this to get a better understanding of why you should go on expedition, whether or not you're the right person. You are, by the way. How to work as part of a team, how to lead a team, risk assessment, safety and planning, how to communicate discoveries, ethics, environmental considerations. We look at all of these things in overview. The idea is that you'll then go away and look into each of these different facets of expedition planning in more detail, which actually in a way is a mirror for Explore. The idea here is to not come to the RGS, to the Explore Festival and leave as a veteran expedition planner, fieldwork specialist. This is a conduit for inspiration. It's a place to meet people. It's a place to fall in love with the idea of doing these things and that first step towards doing them.